Hello everybody, my name is Halo. We have another table tennis video. Actually, in this video, we're going to be reviewing the GKI Kungfu racket. No, actually, this is not my racket. This is my friend's. I've borrowed this for the video, but I have used this racket quite a bit, so I think I can give you my opinions on that. So let's start off with the price of this racket. This comes around somewhere between 900-ish rupees. So slightly cheaper than the GKI Offensive. Not by much, but again, when you're looking at competition and similar price points, I think whether it is within GKI itself. Okay, so when you're looking at the Green Hunt, for example, or the Offensive, those are really your price range competitors at this point. Now, this racket does really hold well with your hand. Now, this Kung Fu has two variants, one with a grip like style and then one without that. This is the non-grip style. So when you're trying to hold this, it does slip quite a bit, at least in my hands. So if you are trying to buy this racket, maybe spend a bit extra and get the grip one. Okay, so let's talk about the build quality itself. This racket is very well built. The wood is good, the rubbers seem good, and you can see that we have the sponge in between, which gives a bit of bounce and a bit of control also, which is also something that I really appreciate, which you don't really get at this price point with other brands. At least to this extent, I'd say, which is all good things. You have some Kung Fu branding. I don't think you see it in the camera. I'm sorry about the camera quality, by the way, but that is something that you get. The sticker does come off, but that's all right. It doesn't really affect the other parts. The rubber does not peel off, so that should be good. Now let's talk about the rubbers themselves. Now these rubbers are good. They get the job done. They do spin quite a bit. They control quite a bit also, but they're not an aggressive and active rubber. They're not really as peppy as you'd see in some other rackets like the Offensive. Of course, we'll have a detailed comparison video between the GKI Kung Fu and the Offensive. That will also be out, I think, by the time. But yeah, let's start with the shots. Let's look at what spin looks like this racket. So clearly, you can spin quite a bit, and that is something that is awesome. So especially when you're starting out with some serious table tennis, you're trying to learn the game more, you're trying to hit a lot of the shots. I think the Kung Fu is a really great choice to get you started at least on the journey, rather than spending with other brands. Which again, when you're looking at Stag, which is something that I mentioned in another video, at this price point, I don't think they offer any real good quality bats, and the rubbers are very bad in the Stag bats, and they don't really grip, and the rubbers also peel off after a while, which is what I read in a lot of reviews. Obviously, I've not used something in the 700 to 800 ranges, but I have used a Stag bat between something 1300 to 1400, and I can definitely say the Kung Fu is better. Who is the Kung Fu for? The Kung Fu is for table tennis players who's trying to learn a bit about the game, whose previous rackets were something like 300 to 500 range rackets, which not really spun properly. When you're looking at the rubbers themselves, as I mentioned already, they are not aggressive. So if your playstyle is more of a control playstyle, you're trying to spin the ball and you're trying to play more of a passive defense role. You're trying to just get those shots up, trying to chop and not really attack your player all the time. I think the Kung Fu will be a great choice. Now, is this the best rubber that you can get at this price point? Again, when we talked about this, maybe we'll talk about this a bit more in our review when you're looking at this versus the GKI offensive. I don't think this is the best rubber that you can get, but something that is different between those is this rubber is a bit more passive. So when you're trying to control more and trying to play like that, I think the Kung Fu is a good option. Something to mention is this is a bit more weighted toward the top part. So when you are holding, you can see a bit more weight on here rather than here. It's not really dispersed as properly as I would have liked it. Now, of course, I can manage to play with this, but that's something, if I really have to nitpick into something, I would say that. Now, of course, that I don't know if that is the same for the variant with the grip. Maybe that might be different. I will attach some gameplay also so that you guys can look into how this looks like while actually gaming. I really do think this is a decent racket. In conclusion, I really do think the Kung Fu by GKI is a very nice racket, especially when you're starting out with table tennis. I mean, not starting out, but you know a bit of the basics and you want to learn a lot about the game. It is really, really enjoyable while playing. It fits in your hand very well. The build quality is very good. So yeah, if you are looking for a racket between 800 to 900s range, I think you can go for the GKI Kung Fu. With that, I think this review is over. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you. If it did, hit that like button. I'll see you in another video. Until then.